Hey everybody, this is James Carpenter, your best in the best local realtor from Texas Property Aces at Keller Williams, and I am highlighting one of my favorite companies in the area, and that is the StretchZone. Today we have Trevor with us, and I appreciate you coming here, Trevor. It's really nice seeing you again.
Yeah,
Trevor,
you too, James.
thanks.
Yeah.
Trevor is actually one of my stretch partners here, and which is one of the reasons why I think the world of this. And so I'm going to let him talk a little bit about what the StretchZone is and how they've been here, and ask him a few questions, and then we'll just go from there. Thank you all for joining us. And Trevor, I'm going to let you go ahead and introduce yourself. Trevor, tell me a little bit about yourself and your name and all that stuff.
Yeah, well, I definitely appreciate you having me here, James. First off, I've known James, 6-7 months now? Because
Probably about 6 months.
yeah, James was one of our first members here at StretchZone.
That's hilarious.
And,
it's hard to believe that. It's hard to believe that's been the case. That's awesome.
He's a StretchZone OG. But,
Nice.
But yeah, to wrap up StretchZone, if I had to tell you what we are, we're a straight practitioner-assisted stretching facility where you have to do absolutely zero work. We'll do it all for you, and you get all the benefits. So we are a franchise, but we're the only one of its kind in East Texas right now currently. And so we give everybody complimentary session, y'all. So anybody dealing with just any nagging tightness, any coming off of spinal fusions, knee pain, back pain, we're here to help y'all. The last year and a half or so has been a little bit crazy, and a lot of us have gotten out of some of the activity that we're used to. And if it's been an issue, struggle getting back into that, just give us a call. We'll make that easier for you.
Awesome. Well, that's a great introduction. I want to tell my story here just a little bit about the StretchZone. I was having severe back problems on a pretty regular basis. I would throw my back out at least once a year, most likely it was twice a year. And everybody was telling me, oh, your hamstrings are tied into your back. And I was like, okay, well, maybe I need to stretch more, whatever. I was never very good at stretching. I've been playing sports my whole life into my adult life. And I can tell you honestly that if it wasn't for StretchZone, I would not be able to play at, I know I'm going to tell everybody my age, 51. I would not be able to do what I do playing softball or even energy with my kids if I hadn't found this place. It really is remarkable. I know we talk about getting chiropractic done, getting massages done. I'm just telling you my experience. This has made me better. Even I did all the chiropractic, I did all of the massages, and this has made me better and has given me more energy. On a personal note, Trevor, you moved here from, where did you move here from?
From Longview.
Okay,
Not
great.
too far away.
Okay, great. And where did you go to school?
UT Austin.
Okay, and what was your special, or what was your major in?
Exercise science with a minor in business administration.
Yeah, it's hard to imagine that this would be your job, right?
Right.
I think it was pretty much a perfect fit, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, definitely not a coincidence. So right after that, kind of planned on staying in Austin originally, but actually moved back home to Longview. Kind of helped out with some family issues, health issues my family was having, and ended up managing a health club and doing training over there for the past 5 years. And just over the last couple years of that, got a lot more interested. I got tired of yelling at people and looked more so into the how we can help heal people instead of yell at them.
Trevor has never yelled at me. Not one time has he ever yelled at me.
Not yet.
Well, it's still early. We have a session in about 20 minutes. We have a session. Maybe he'll yell at me then.
Yeah.
So Trevor, tell me a little bit about y'all opened up about 6 months ago. Was that in January?
End of March.
Okay, so March. Okay, so I forget it's already November. Yeah. So y'all opened up in March. Tell me about that process. How did you market? How did you find people to come here? I mean, I can tell you how I found you, but I want you to tell me how you went about it.
So we have a great owner and marketing group that we definitely do a whole lot of stuff in-house with the community, but we're all over the Facebook and the social medias of the world. And so I was actually kind of off finishing my training to help open up the studio where our front desk manager, Rebecca, who's awesome, and Catherine, our owner, who's awesome as well. They were here on the phone filling up the schedule, and people were calling us actually. I came back, and very first day, my schedule was already full for 6 weeks. And
I did. I called. I called because somebody had said something about the StretchZone, and I was like, what? And so I Googled it, and then of course after I Googled it, I started getting messages on Facebook and or at least advertisements on Facebook, and I made the phone call. Rebecca was actually the first person I talked to.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So how many stretch partners do you have now currently?
People that are doing stretching
Yes.
right now. So 6 of us total.
Okay.
Right now.
Okay. And of course you're the manager here.
Yes, sir.
And yet you still do stretches.
Yes, sir.
Yes, I know
Yes,
that
so
because I get to do.
Yeah,
I get you
I,
to be my stretch partner.
primarily do the intake sessions a little bit more. And so the first session, we'll go through some range of motion assessments. There's a lot of imbalances in the body that's very common and popular right now. It's common, but not good. And so I'll do that assessment and kind of build a plan for the people going forward. And all of our other practitioners have a very similar background to mine, if not the same. And we're actually the only nationally accredited stretch institute currently in the United States, y'all. Governed by the
That's
same
crazy.
board that governs massage and any type of body work in America right now. And so yeah, we all have to have a background like mine already. Then you go through the StretchZone training, have to pass several tests there to be able to start.
Okay. If you've ever been to any kind of sporting event, football game, baseball game, you'll see what appears to me to be the trainers out there, and they are stretching the athletes. Y'all are doing that at a really high level here on the tables that are specially made for that. That's kind of been my experience. Would you agree with that?
Yeah. And so the strapping system we actually use, James, it's a patented strapping system. Very intentional. A lot of people see it on Facebook and make jokes about it. It is kind of funny by appearance, but real intentional. Once again, going back on the imbalances whenever you try stretching on your own, which is awesome. The more we do that, the better. But our table and system is designed so that way that compensation and the imbalance can't happen while we're stretching.
Okay.
And so the bodies, we're human bodies. Our bodies wants to find a way to do the least work possible and to stay the same. We're trying to stay in homeostasis. And point of that is going to make what actually needs to do the work while we're stretching.
That's incredible, and my experience has been nothing but amazing. I went and played in a softball tournament this weekend. I stretch before I go play in a softball tournament, and then I stretch immediately after a softball tournament. And where I used to be in incredible pain after a softball tournament has turned into just being a little bit uncomfortable. It's been absolutely amazing, and I have not thrown my back out since I have been here. So that's
awesome.
So that's almost 11. We talked about 6 months, but I guess it's about 6 months. And so no back problems at all. Trevor does a really good job of stretching my lower back. That was something that we were able to figure out pretty early in the process. You're an East Texas native.
Oh yeah.
So, and you left and you came back to East Texas. Tell me what it is that brought you back to East Texas. Was it this, or you just wanted to live in the area? Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, there's something about East Texas that just pulls you back in.
Yeah.
You try to get away and you just can't. No, but all seriousness, I do love this area for sure, and I have a passion just for helping people with their health and fitness in general. There's definitely maybe a little bit more help that needs to be done in this area, in my opinion. Just still, learning the new ways of how to do things and how to take care of ourselves. And everybody has good intentions. It's just a steadily changing world where we have to pay attention to our best options. The friendliness of the people here, just my family being here, it's definitely a special place. And
yeah. So tell me, if you don't mind, just their first names, if you don't mind. The names of some of the folks that work here that are, we talked about Rebecca, and of course Delaney, Chris, Alex. Can you talk a little bit about them?
Yeah, of course,
Okay.
We'd love to.
Yep.
I definitely would not be here, but without them, they are absolutely everything to this business. And James mentioned me a second ago, and yes, we do personally still do sessions occasionally, but for example, he primarily works with our practitioner of ours named Delaney. So Delaney really deserves the credit, for being the one to help out James, definitely not me. Her, for example, she was a dancer at UT, also who studied health science and also went through our StretchZone training and just absolutely kills it. It's helped a lot of people just with their back, hip mobility, just sports in general as well too. Chris, another guy, been around town for a while. He was a Marine. He's really a jack of all trades. So he'll do massage for you, not in-house, but you can see him outside. Used to do personal training for a long time. He assists teaching a movement class, and he's an absolutely incredible stretcher. Then yeah, definitely have to shout out Rebecca. Probably does 3/4 of my jump for me, for being honest.
Those folks are nice to have.
Yeah, she's a rare person. Just her ability, her intelligence to get tasks done, and her ability to just care about people and always stay calm and smooth about it. She's incredible.
So you mentioned earlier, in closing, that you do a consultation, a free consultation, a free first stretch. Tell me a little bit about that, and what does that look like for somebody who's going to see this video and is going to call you. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah. So we'll definitely link below on this, to our phone number, our social media, so you can contact us. But before I look at potentially get you started on a program, I want to make sure this is a service that can help you. It's very, very rare that we can't help somebody, but the purpose of that initial one is we will do some additional range of motion tests to see what exactly we're dealing with. What do we need to focus on? We'll also go through your medical, physical history, make sure we are completely okay and ready to start stretching with us. And then we'll put you through nearly a full session, not quite how long it would normally be. If it is something that will work for you, you will feel better instantly. Not to say you should not continue to work on it, but you'll know right away. And if it is a situation you get off of our table and you feel better at that point in time, then we'll set up a program to continue that progress.
That was absolutely my experience. I felt relief immediately. Day one, I felt relief. And I feel like I may be bragging a little bit on myself here. I feel like I have definitely gotten more flexible, and it's only because of what y'all have done. There's no doubt in my mind. And if you are somebody who is wanting to make a life improvement, whether it's working out or maybe you want to be more active, it's hard sometimes to get active if you're in pain. This might be an answer to get rid of some of that pain. And Trevor, I really appreciate your time. Thank you so much.
No problem,
thank you for letting me interview you. And guys, if you are interested, please get in contact with the StretchZone. And remember, my name is James Carpenter, your best in the vest realtor here in East Texas. And we look forward to seeing y'all soon. Have a great night.
Y'all go see this guy too for your house.
I appreciate that. Oh my gosh, I gotta tell this story before we leave. One of the stretch partners, he moved to Dallas, and he was like, I'm getting ready to sell my house. That's so funny. Yeah. And he said, hey, I'm getting ready to sell my house. I said, oh, really? Where do you live? And he's like, oh, I live in Flint. I said, well, I'm a real estate agent. He goes, we're looking for a real estate agent. And long story short, he did let me sell his house, and that was
nice.
I think that paid for my sessions for the rest of the whole year. So
that's one way to do it.
That is. So again, if you are looking for relief, get in touch with Trevor. Get in touch with the StretchZone. They are going to do remarkable things for you. I feel confident in that. And again, Trevor, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it.
Of course, James.
Okay, y'all take care. Have a great day. Bye-bye. Hey everybody, it's James Carpenter with Keller Williams, your best in the vest real estate agent at Texas Property Aces, and I am honored to be able to highlight StretchZone even further. I was not expecting this, but Catherine is she is the owner of the StretchZone here in Tyler, and she's going to tell a little bit of her story, and we're just gonna go from there. So Catherine, I'd like for you to introduce yourself again. You are the owner of StretchZone, and go ahead and tell us a little bit about that.
Well, thanks, James. I'm glad you guys are here. It was awesome to walk in, today and to see you laying there on the table and getting your stretch on, so to speak. So that was wonderful. We were very excited. My husband and I moved here in August of 2020, so during the pandemic, and I currently have 2 stretch zones in San Antonio, and
wow.
So when we moved here, I kept looking around and just the vibe in Tyler, it was just fantastic. Primarily because there seems to be so much health, wellness, medical. It's like the hub, right? It's like Tyler's become the hub for the medical East Texas community. And I thought, man, I think that StretchZone would do well here. And so talked to a few folks, felt it out, and made a decision to contact the franchise company and say, hey, I've moved and here's where I want to open the 3rd one. What do you think? They checked the demographics because it said, you need to do it. And so here we are in Bergfeld Center. Absolutely love the landlord, love the space. It's great. And so we opened in the end of March of this year.
Awesome.
Yes.
And it is a beautiful building. Y'all have done a really good job of making it look pretty and all that stuff. So you told me something I didn't know about you. You are not from East Texas.
Well, actually I am.
Okay.
So, yeah, my family lives in Longview.
Oh, great. Okay.
Okay, so I grew up, I went to high school, junior high and high school in Longview, and then moved off.
Are you a Lobo?
I am.
Oh, nice. Okay, very good. All right, very good.
Yes, and so then I moved off and went to Texas Tech, and at that point where I received my degree. Absolutely has nothing to do with what I'm doing right now. Broadcast journalism was my degree. But long story short, ended up into the private country club field, and I've was in the private country club field, still is in the private country club field as an owner, and just love it. And so the membership portion of private country clubs is what kind of brought me into StretchZone. So I can tell you how this whole thing was found.
Yeah, I am very curious. How did you, I mean, of all of the franchises you could have opened up, you picked StretchZone. There has to be a reason why.
There is. My husband's the one who actually found it, and he is the vice president for Arnold Palmer Golf, and so he runs country clubs all over the United States, and one of his is in Florida. And so we were there, and he kept telling me, hey, this friend of ours has opened these stretch zones. And I said, well, what is it? So he told me about it, and I really wasn't too excited when I first heard about it. And honestly, that's just to be honest with you guys, because I didn't understand it.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was the main part, is I didn't have an understanding. So when we were there, he said, let's try it, let's experience it. And so I did, and at that point was when I was able to share, because you get a complimentary consultation, I was able to share with the practitioner, hey, I had horrific sciatica and had had it for like 2 years, and I can't sleep, I can't stand too long. I was going to the chiropractor, going to a massage therapist, even tried acupuncture, and got to the point where my doctor said, I'm gonna have to put you on something to give you some relief. And I'm like, I'm not taking a pill. I don't want to do that for the rest of my life.
Incredible.
So I told him about this one, and he said, okay, well, today I'll work on this area, for you. And I said, great. So we actually left Florida and flew back to San Antonio, where we were living at the time. Got up the next morning, we were doing like a 5K walk. And I turned to my husband and I said, first time in 2 years that I've slept all night, haven't had to get up and take medication. Maybe they have something here.
That's crazy.
And I was like, let's see how long this lasts. Well, about 3 weeks later, I was in Dallas, and there was a stretch zone in Dallas, and I went and I received another stretch, and I'm like, okay, I think I'm all in on this deal. I mean,
Wow.
I was blown, and I am telling you the truth when I say that I have not had sciatica pain since I opened Stretch Zone 2 years ago.
That is an incredible story.
It is amazing, and what a difference in the quality of life.
It really, it actually, I can relate to that, because that is kind of my story. I did not know that I could go and stretch and have, it gave me energy. I go and do things now that I wasn't doing when I was in my 40s. I'm 51 now, and that was my story. And I even told somebody, I was like, looks like I'm gonna have to become a member, because it was life-changing. I didn't want to take a pill. I didn't want to be in pain, but there was no way I was going to take a pill. And that story is really incredible. Do you play sports? Do you play golf? Do you do any of that? Okay, yeah,
Yes.
that sounds like, based on what you were telling me with your story and your husband, I'm guessing you were probably playing golf.
Yes.
Okay,
Golf
so,
is big for us.
okay, so did it help your golf game?
Absolutely.
There's all you golf players out there.
I gotta tell you, it probably helps his more than it helps mine, because I could play, 6 times a year, or I could play, 1 time every single month, and whatever, and I'm still going to shoot the same thing. So that part doesn't matter. But I can, we have a lot of golfers. The golfers gravitate towards Stretch Zone because, several reasons. Your hips is what really puts a lot of the energy into your swing, and as we age, that area of our body seemed, especially if we don't stretch at all, we lose 1% of our flexibility, after the age of 40 if we don't use it.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So for golfers, and getting their timing and getting their hips around during their swing, it'll help to, certainly make them feel better as they are playing a lot of golf. But the distance on their ball, that's huge. We do have somebody here in town that, there's a lot of golfers that come to us, but this one in particular is also a teacher. And he told me, he said, Catherine, after the first several stretches I went back, he does, he times his swings and he times the distance of the ball and the speed and everything. And he said, not only did I pick up more yardage, I picked up 5 to 10 more yards, but the speed of my ball, and I'm like, wow, so what we've heard from a lot of the golfers is that it's great for them, but then they got to go figure out what clubs to use because it's changed the distance that they're doing.
That is,
yeah.
Wow. So for all you golfers out there, and I know that there's people watching that are golfers, and all of my softball buddies out there, it's helped my hips too.
There you go. There you go.
I don't know that I'm putting a whole lot more on the ball. I'd like to think that I am. Okay. You went to college at Texas Tech?
Yes.
Okay. So you graduated from Texas Tech, and then you moved to San Antonio.
No, I moved. I was in the Dallas area for a long time, in San Antonio, back to Dallas, back to San Antonio type of thing. So I was in San Antonio since 1999. Okay. And then ended up moving, here this last year. And my stint in San Antonio was with, in the golf industry, private club industry, and I managed a private club there, and then became a regional, and then became part of an owner, and then, just one thing after another kind of happened. And
wow.
So,
you have children?
We do.
Okay.
We have 2, and they're in San Antonio.
Okay.
One is going to school, and one's actually trying to get her license to become a loan officer right now.
Oh, imagine that, okay? That is, we are not doing this on purpose. This is all by accident. That is incredible, okay? And so you're here in East Texas, you've moved back to East Texas, your plans are to stay in East Texas?
Stay in East Texas. My family's, as I said, is in Longview, and I hadn't been here in 42 years, and it was time to come back. So I've got brothers and their kids and family are all, in the Longview area. So it was time. Mom and Dad, everybody's there.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Well, we really appreciate your time, Catherine. Thank you so much. Tell everybody your full name, and then we'll go ahead and end it. And I really appreciate your time. So this is Catherine.
Yes, it's Catherine Comfort, and I'm just proud to be here in East Texas. Proud to be the owner here at StretchZone, and just hope to see everybody. And what a great deal it was to have James come in and now become part of our StretchZone family, and to be able to share this with you all.
We appreciate your time. Thank you so much for meeting with me. Thank you. Have a great day.
You too.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.